Hey there, welcome back to Nature to Nurture. I am so glad that you are here with me today. In the last episode, we talked a lot about capacity. Not just time, but what your body, what your mind, what your nervous system can actually hold in any given moment. And I've been thinking about that conversation a lot since I recorded it because I think there's one more layer that many of us are feeling, but we don't always name. Most of us think that we're exhausted because of what we're doing. But I don't actually think it's just the tasks. I think it's what we're carrying underneath all of those tasks. Because if you really look at your day, yes, there are the visible things. The making the meals, driving kids, cleaning, answering questions, maybe you're working, managing schedules. But underneath all of that, there's another layer that is constantly running, and most people never see it. We are carrying anticipation, mental tracking, emotional regulation, decision-making, planning ahead, and staying aware of everyone else's needs at the same time. And it doesn't stop. Even when you sit down, your brain doesn't stop. Even when the house gets quiet, your nervous system, it doesn't stop. And I think that's why so many parents are feeling confused because they think, I don't even do that much. Why am I always feeling completely exhausted? And it's because your body has been holding things all day that nobody else can see. I think this shows up in some really ordinary moments that you might recognize. Like when you're making dinner, you are already thinking about bedtime and the dishes and what needs to happen tomorrow. And then your child comes and asks you for something. And maybe the request is completely reasonable, like, can you get me a cup? But inside of your body, it feels like one more thing. And your response comes out sharper than you wanted it to. And then after that, you feel this guilt, or maybe frustration, or that feeling of, why did I act that way? And usually it's not about the request asking for the cup. It's about the load you were already carrying before the child even opened their mouth. And I think this is really, really important to understand because capacity lives in the body. It's not just in your mind. Your body is constantly tracking. And how much stimulation is coming in, how much stress is being held, how much support is available, how much recovery you've actually had, all of that comes into play. Your body is tracking it. And when that balance is off for too long, your body will respond. And that's when you will feel irritable, short-tempered, emotionally reactive, and completely just touched out. Like all of these little tiny things are suddenly gigantic. And it's not because you're failing. Not at all. It's because your system is overloaded. I want to say something right here that's really important because I know I'm right there with you. A lot of us are trying really hard to support ourselves, right? We are trying the routines. We're trying to eat well. We are moving our bodies. We're getting more sleep. We're trying to be organized and simplify the house. And those things, yes, they do help. I have been leaning into those things myself over the past few months and years, and I can tell you that they definitely do make a difference. But they don't remove the load. They support you in carrying what's already there. And if what you're already carrying is still too much, you're still going to feel it. And that doesn't mean that those things are not working. It just means that your load is still high. And so instead of asking yourself, what is wrong with me? Or why can't I handle this? Maybe the question needs to be, what am I carrying right now that no one else can see. This simple awareness is going to change how we respond. It's not perfect, but it does help us to respond more gently to ourselves. Today, I just want you to notice one moment, one time when things are starting to feel a little bit tight or tense. It doesn't need to be the biggest moment, just one small moment. And before you react, pause for 1 second and ask yourself, what have I been carrying all day? It's not to judge yourself, and it's not to fix it immediately. It's just to notice it. Because sometimes that awareness alone can soften the moment. I want to take a real quick little side tidbit and tell you about what happened this past weekend. My family and I had the amazing opportunity to go out to Moab, Utah, and to do some camping. And it's something that we do every year at this time of year. We love it. We got out there, we set up camp. It was beautiful, amazing sunset. The next day we went and did a hike, and it was a beautiful day, not too hot, not too windy, perfect. We played in the water. We came back to camp and we were tired. And the wind was going and it wouldn't stop. The wind was blowing and it wouldn't stop. And the sun was nice and the temperature was nice, and it was nice that the wind was cooling us off a little bit, but it pushed me over capacity. And I noticed myself starting to get irritated, and it wasn't just the wind. No, it wasn't just the wind. It was the fact that the air mattress that we had been deflating, and so I ended up waking up on my hips. I was sore. I was menstruating. We had just done this huge, long hike. I realized that my dog is getting old, and so I was feeling that emotionally. On top of the sun, on top of the camping, the wind was just one more thing on top of it. And I noticed it. I felt it. I ended up going and taking a nap in the car so I could get out of the wind. And it's interesting that I noticed it and that I was able to share that with my family, because they came back to me actually just earlier this morning talking about how frustrated I was, how stressed out I was that afternoon because of the wind. And I had recognized it. I had said something. I told them. They recognized it and they remembered. And they said, yeah, we could tell. Like, you were over your limit, right? And it didn't take away that I was over the limit, over my capacity, but it did help me to understand myself and help everybody else to understand me, help me to understand everybody else, help us all to work a little bit better. Now, I know you might thinking yourself, that's great. That's wonderful that you were able to do it. How do I do that? And honestly, I understand it's hard. And this is one of the reasons that I have been feeling pulled to open up a small parent group this summer, because I don't think that we were meant to carry all of this alone. I have a cohort, a class that I will be teaching this summer called Positive Solutions for Families. It is an evidence-based series that's rooted in the pyramid model for social and emotional development, specifically for young children, 0 to 5, but I actually apply it to my children who are 12 at this time. But more than anything, I really want to share with you that this is going to teach you skills to respond to your children, to respond to yourself, to understand yourself. But it's also going to be a space where you are supported while practicing these new skills. And it's not that you need to show up perfectly or to do the things perfectly. It's that you're showing up, that you're being intentional. I am going to drop the link down in the show notes so you can check that out if you want more information. I would love for you to join me for this virtual small cohort and gain some skills that can really help you with your family. But for now, I want you to hear this. You're not exhausted because you are weak. You are exhausted because carrying all of these invisible things is still carrying all of these invisible things. I thank you so much for spending time with me today. And if this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who also needs to hear this message. That it's not just that you're weak, that you can't do it, that you don't know how to handle it, that you need to learn the skills. No. It's that you are carrying so much. Talk to y'all soon.